is Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Okay, so there's Dan, and there's Dawn, and then there's Paul, and there's Phil, and there's Linda, and Laura, and Landry, and Christina, and Christine, and then Christy, I think there's about 1,000 of you, and I'm trying to meet everybody, but thank you so much for stopping me and saying hi. Lets me know that a lot of you are actually watching us, but I'm keeping my eye on the whole northern hemisphere. You hear about some of those hikers being trapped, and then some of those areas around the Rocky Mountains saw about 10 inches of snow this early in the year, and there's a monster hurricane barreling up the west coast. It's a pretty active week of weather, and temperatures over the last 24 hours here in the quiet Concho Valley all the way down into those lower 60s and then all the way up into those upper 80s, and then we're going to see how quickly we cool off underneath these clearing skies by tonight. So we're going to be doing the exact same thing, but we're on the warm-up somehow. 89 in San Angelo. Everybody else in a combination of mid to lower 80s across the entire region. Is there 10 degrees today? 90 in Robert Lee, 84 down there in Junction where they saw a little bit of rain. So about 6 degrees across the entire Concho Valley. Watching those moisture values, dew points are in the 50s and the 60s, while humidity indices are in those 30s up into those 60s. So we will again track how quickly we see these moisture values rise by tonight. But take a good look at the moisture tracker. We're watching the tropical activity make its way up the west coast. Models are still picking up that data, while around the central portion of the United States, another round of cold air is going to try to push down from the north. But again, here in the Concho Valley, going to be holding around somewhere in those lower 90s as we close in on Halloween. That's all I have about to track right now. Of course, seeing that high pressure lock itself in place, but by the end of the week, if not by the middle or the beginning of next week, it's the full moon. I promise you, I'm blaming it on it. We're going to see more cold air try to work its way in as soon as that hurricane gives up. Now, water vapor imagery still showing us the sort of battle going back and forth with that cold air down from the north, and of course some of that tropical activity just pushing back and forth. Severe weather outlook still going around the Concho Valley, but you're getting a better idea of the Edwards Plateau out here. Down at the surface, getting a better idea of the cold air pushing around Minnesota and of course around Idaho, but we're really just tracking that light cloud cover as it makes its way down. Now, Futurecast is going to show you how we're on the lookout for more light rain in the afternoon thunderstorm pattern. Didn't see a whole lot to the northern part of the Concho Valley, but it definitely showed up to the southern part. You still see that hurricane showing up, so we're going to wait to see how much moisture it pushes up and around the Rocky Mountains, how much snow that dumps, and then we're going to wait and see if it makes its way across the Sierra Madres into our area. So tonight, really just tracking how quickly we get all the way back down into those lower 60s. Then tomorrow, I'm going to track how quickly we warm up into those mid 80s, and then from there, we're on the warm up as we are already halfway through the week, but by the end of the week, still going strong in those sort of lower 90s, while those overnight lows still are hovering in those lower 60s as we close even sooner on Halloween, on that second week of October, still in those lower 90s. Look how quiet this is, while those overnight lows in those mid 60s. Stay tuned. I'll go over the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.